Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church again. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got other things to do. You don't have to listen to what I say. And so I'm very, very thankful that perhaps something I might say might encourage you today. And I want to continue in that line of talking about encouraging words from the Gospel of John. Today, I want to look at a verse in the seventh chapter of John, beginning with 37, or the last half of 37, and it reads this way. Jesus said, "Anyone who's thirsty may come to me. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink. For the scriptures declare rivers of living water will flow from his heart." When he said living water, he was speaking of the Spirit who would be given to everyone who believes in him. Have you ever been thirsty? I mean, really thirsty? I've heard people say, "I'm dying of thirst." Well, they're probably not dying. They're really thirsty. And they drink, and they drink, and they drink, and they drink. I used to raise draft horses. The one thing I learned, which I did not know, and some of you already know, horses only drink twice a day. They drink in the morning and they drink in the afternoon. They don't drink much in the middle of the day. They just don't. I don't know why, but they don't. And my draft horses, which weighed more than 2,000 pounds, drank a lot. In fact, the first time I was just flabbergasted. I had a 5-gallon bucket, filled it with water. My mare came in, stuck her nose in the bucket, and never picked her head up until the entire 5 gallons was gone. I couldn't believe it. I was amazed at that sight. And I can't really describe it to you. You'd almost have to see it for yourself. This whole bucket of water. She didn't come up to breathe. She didn't come up to take a break. She didn't come up for anything. She stuck her nose in the bucket, and when she picked her head up, the bucket was just about empty. Now, that's what I call drinking when you're thirsty. Well, none of us are quite like that. But the amazing thing was, the next evening or the next morning, whichever it was, she's going to do the same thing. She had to have water. Of course, all animals do, including you and me, but that's what she needed in order to live her life. And you and I need to drink. Oh, we can argue about what we drink. Now, when I say drink, I don't mean alcohol drinks. If you want to drink those, that's your business. I'm not going to tell you not to. I don't, but that's my preference. You have yours. But we all need to consume liquid. And so Jesus takes that everyday life experience and turns it into something that's profound. Let's look at it again. He says, "Anyone who is thirsty may come to me. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink." Now, here he's not talking about literally thirsty. He's not talking about liquid that comes out of a faucet or out of a bottle or in a can or in a milk jug or something like that. He's talking about being thirsty in your soul. You see, many, many people spend their whole lives wondering, why are they here? Now, maybe they don't talk about it. I'm not suggesting this is the top conversation at the dinner table, but particularly younger people and then older people, why am I still here? What am I accomplishing? When we're doing something that seems worthwhile, We have a feeling, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But for many, many people, maybe even some of you, that's not happening. For some of you, either earlier in life or later in life, and then unfortunately some in the middle, you're just not sure what your useful purpose is anymore. And that's the kind of thirstiness that Jesus is talking about here. If your soul, and I guess that's a church term, so let me rephrase that. If your inner self is confused and wondering and discouraged, and you feel like life is passing you by, or you're just spinning your wheels, or you're just not really getting ahead. If that's how you feel, then Jesus says, come to him and he'll give you the water that quenches your thirst. You see, each one of us was born for a purpose. Some of us have huge purposes. Some of us have very little focused purposes. But none of us were an accident. I know maybe your mom and dad didn't plan you. My mom and dad didn't plan me. At least that's what I was told as I grew up. But nevertheless, God planned me and God planned you. There's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can say that will change that fact. Now, what's important is, what do you do with that fact? You see, God will not force himself on you. He won't make you do anything. He could, obviously. He's God. He's the eternal. He's the creator of the universe. He could do anything he wants to. He could turn you into a robot or a puppet, but he won't do that. He invites you to come along. And so Jesus doesn't say, stand still and I'm going to give this to you. He says, if you're thirsty, then come to me and I will quench your thirst. All we have to do is ask God into our lives. All we have to do is ask the Lord to help us, guide us, protect us. And he'll do that because he wants to. He wants to see you fulfill the reason why you were born. And I don't know what that reason is for you. I think I know a good part of it for me, but I've spent a lot of years finding it. And you might spend a lot of years too. But the point is, every one of us, there's no exception, every one of us is welcome to receive everything that God has to offer. We just have to admit we're thirsty and ask him for a drink. Well, I know that sounds pretty simple. And it is. It's just a little complicated because you might have to make some changes in your life that might be hard to do, but it's worth it. So I hope you'll think about these things. I hope they'll encourage you to try to find what God wants and to live it. And then in response, receive the joy and the happiness and the greatness and the grandeur of living that God intended. Well, thanks for listening today. Hope you have a wonderful week. We got another week started. If you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet that need. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.